And we are live. Good morning, and welcome to Jay and Toby's True Crime in the Morning. Thank you for joining us today. Today on the show, Jake Wagner pleads guilty to a Pike County massacre, admitting to killing his ex and her family. An Iowa woman pleads guilty to federal hate crime charges after running over kids. Amish teen Linda Stoltzful's cause of death is revealed days after her remains were found, and much, much more. If you're not familiar with our show here, we are the sister show to the main Jason Hebert channel, where I interview the loved ones of missing persons and unsolved crimes in an effort to help spread awareness and bring justice. If you didn't watch our episode last night, make sure to check it out. A couple technical difficulties, but it did come out pretty good all the same. And make sure to check out tonight's missing persons interview at 9 p.m. We have another great one for you, a part 2 to a previous episode. So this morning show is a bit of an extension to that nighttime program, but it works a bit differently. Instead of interviewing the subjects, we instead take a look at stories from a third-party perspective and give our own opinions of them, as well as communicating with you guys, the subscribers, through the chat in an effort to get to know you better. We also raise money during the show to support the efforts required to find the families we interview, research their cases, promote the stories, and everything else that comes along with doing the over 125 interviews that we have on our main channel. So we do appreciate if anyone can donate to support. Good morning to everybody. Shammy, Chris. Hey, what's up, Chris? We haven't seen you in a bit. We were talking about that in yesterday's show. Hey, Junie, Annie. What's up, everybody? So if you wish to do so, the link is in the description, which is either above or below the video, depending on if you're watching from, sorry, I was thinking something else, YouTube or Facebook. There we go. That's where you can be watching from. Those are the names of the websites that I host the show on. So if you do decide to support, what we do is we put your name on screen as a thank you. I got to start typing this out before I do this. It's going to be my next goal is to have this already typed. Let's see if I can do it more than 40 times before I start remembering it. Give a little copy and paste. So right there where you see N/A on the screen, that's where you will go, your name, if you did decide to support the channel. Just to give you guys a shout out. And lastly, everyone who does donate gets our friend Toby here, our handsome co-host, a treat. Each donation gets him one treat, although right now it's $11.50 for the first 10 minutes. So by noon, we do what's called the lightning round, where it gets Toby double treats. So if anybody wants to help out the Tobe, man, that's how to do it. The first 10 minutes are a good time. Gets him double. And he loves it, let me tell you. We were talking about it earlier today. All right, guys, let me just load up my main screen here so that I am made aware if anybody does, and then we can get started looking at some of these stories. I don't know that we'll be doing a nighttime show today on this channel. It all depends how things go, or an afternoon, nighttime program, because I do have the interview at night. So I'll try to get one in, but the important thing, of course, is that we handle the interview. That's the important thing, because that one's going to be a good one. We're interviewing Jessica Natia. It's been quite a while. I apologize if I'm saying her name incorrectly, but she had said some things in the first interview, and on this one, there's been some developments, and she wants to kind of move forward, and she thinks she has, a better idea of what happened and who did it. So I think it's going to get kind of spicy, tonight's interview. So make sure to check it out. If you haven't watched that one, where I interviewed Jessica, then try to maybe watch part 1 beforehand. But even if you don't, I'll try to structure it in a way that you can kind of jump into that one cold. All right, we have our first donation of the day. Awesome. It was a couple super slow days the last couple of days, so I'm hoping we can have a decent one today. So that's awesome to have an early start here with you guys coming through. So thank you so much. So thank you to Junie, who comes through with $10. Thank you so much. We do appreciate the support. You are awesome. Junie, of course, a long-time consistent supporter. Posting some. Oh, cool, Shammy. Yeah, I know. Yesterday we had some delays, and there was some talking over that happens when you have a couple people at once. Or we had, 3 people on besides myself. So I apologize. I know a couple people said that. I know at some points it did get a little hard to hear what people were saying because there was a lot of talking going on. So I apologize for that. I try to minimize it when I'm doing it, especially with the background noise and stuff. But sometimes, you guys don't see the beforehand. A lot of the things, the problems that arise during the interview arise beforehand. So I've already talked to them like 3 or 4 times about it. So I'll say it once or twice in the interview, but by that point, it's been like 4 or 5 times that we've dealt with the issue. So I start to feel uncomfortable. I don't want to be like too pushy. So if it seems like I'm not like trying to take control sometimes, that's what it is. First off, he wants to say thank you, Junie. Thank you so much, Junie, for my treats. So thank you to June from the Toaster. But he just woke up. He's been a sleepy boy today. But so yeah, if yesterday did get a little, I don't know, frazzled, whatever the word is, I do apologize for it. And tonight won't be like that. Not that yesterday went bad. I just know a couple people said like, hey, I can't hear. Everyone's talking at once. The problem is if there's even a 1 or 2 second delay, there's a lot of talking over because in a normal conversation, I'm like, so what'd you do today? Oh, I went to the store. What did you do? It's very back and forth. So when you get on camera, you tend to talk like that. But the 1 second delay, your ear hears it. So you start to talk, but then they talk again. And it just happens constantly. It's really hard. I'm kind of used to it. I don't do it as much anymore. I used to interrupt a lot. But the guests are new to it. So that's why you'll see the guests have a hard time picking up on it. Oh, you liked it, Shammy? Good. Yeah, I think it went good. Life is full of distractions. That is true. Yeah, I thought it went good. I'm just kind of letting you guys know because a couple people I did see in the chat that they said something. Okay, we have Chris coming through with our second donation of the day. Thank you so much, Chris. That's awesome. I love when we have a good little start like this because it means we'll have a decent day. Like anything, it comes in waves, So we had a couple slow days yesterday, so maybe that means we'll have a good day today. We'll see. Whoa, Chris, you're giving Toby a super treat. It's a super bundled up one. That's like 2 treats in one. So basically, you're getting like 3 treats. So thank you to Chris. Thank you so much. And we'll get to the news in just a second. There's your super treat there. I'm kind of just waking up myself. Forgive me, guys. I woke up at like 4:30 in the morning to call this workplace to see if they had some stuff I could do in the morning. They didn't end up having it, but by that point I was up. So I kind of woke up early and then fell back asleep. But okay, a delay is awful when you aren't used to it. Yeah, it's really tough. You struggle on the phone. Yeah, I know it can happen on the phone too. They are tough to deal with for sure. I'm starting to get used to them, but I'm 120 something interviews in by this point. And I used to, if you go back to an interview I did before I was even doing interviews, it was just the sole interview I came across. And I super interrupted the person. I actually did a really bad job. So I learned from that interview. So now, once in a while, I have to catch myself. I'll start to be butting in a little. But for the most part, I just sit there and I'm quiet. I learned to do that. But it's definitely a learned skill, especially if you're a talkative person like me. It's something you have to learn not to interrupt and butt in. It's a lot harder than it looks. I promise you that. Okay, so thank you to June and Kristen for coming through with $10 support. We love you guys. We still got 5 more minutes in the lightning round if anyone wants to jump in. But in the meantime, we will start with the story. So Jake Wagner says, I am deeply and very sorry as he pleads guilty to a Pike County massacre, admitting to killing his ex and her family. I believe we covered this story in the past. So Edward Jake Wagner will serve the rest of his life in prison for the 2016 murders of his ex, Hannah Roden, and 7 members of her family. 7. I believe a lot of them are kids, if I'm remembering correctly. On the 5th anniversary of the bloody calculated massacre of 8 Ohio family members, 5th anniversary? Maybe not. I don't think this is the one. Edward Jake Wagner took responsibility for the heinous killings Thursday in a Pike County courtroom. He pleaded guilty to killing 8 people, including Hannah Roden, his ex-girlfriend and mother of his daughter. Wow, even worse. Now she has no parents. Good job, you idiot. As the tearful surviving members of the Roden family looked on in court, according to the Columbus Dispatch. You have to be a really awful, selfish person to kill the person you have a child with, because you are effectively removing both parents from their life. Removing one is awful enough, but you're probably going to get caught for it and go to jail. Now she has nobody. And plus, you know what? You're better off in jail because who wants to live with a murderer? So either way, you're just an awful person for even considering hurting the mother of your child or anybody you're dating. I'm guilty, Your Honor, a visibly upset Wagner said when asked about killing his one-time love in a carefully planned execution that prosecutors said was triggered by a custody battle over the couple's child. As part of the agreement, Wagner, 28, pleaded guilty to 8 counts of aggravated murder and agreed to testify against his mother, father, and brother, who also were charged with systematically killing the family in hits carried out at 4 separate mobile homes. Wait, what? No, we didn't cover this story. Wait a second. This is like an organized crime spree or something. His mom, dad, and brother assisted him, and they went to 4 different mobile homes that day, wiping out this other family. I got to cover this story somehow in more depth. I was not. Are you guys familiar with this story? That was a nightmare, one trailer after another. Okay, so you're familiar with it, Junie. How about the rest of you guys? Is everyone familiar with what the heck is going on in this story? I have never heard anything like this. One family systematically coming. Yeah, his whole family's involved. Unbelievable, guys. No. You delivered a safe where it happened? I've never heard of this one either. This is insane. Oh my goodness. Well, let's take a look. I don't even know what to say about this one. Delete that. As part of the agreement, Wagner, who's 28, pleaded guilty to 8 counts of aggravated murder and agreed to testify, as we said. Sorry, I just read that. The massacre claimed the lives of Hannah Roden, her parents, Christopher Roden Sr., who's 40, Dana Manley Roden, who's 38. Wait, hang on a second. Are Christopher and Dana her parents? Or that's another people? Another. Oh, no, those are 2 other. Okay, sorry. Can't read today. Along with her brothers Clarence Roden, who's nicknamed Frankie, 20 years old, and Chris Roden Jr., who's 16 years old. So, yeah, those are the 7. Okay, so it just didn't. I thought Dana and Chris were the names of the parents, but I guess it doesn't give their names. Frankie Roden's fiance, Hannah Gilly, 20, and Christopher Roden Sr.'s older brother, Kenneth Roden, and his cousin, Gary Roden, 38, were also killed. Wow, this entire family was wiped out. Unbelievable. You know, they have all their pictures. Here we go, guys. This story is crazy. Then the family moved to Alaska, have they? You heard about it, Annie? Yeah, we got to look at this. This sounds like one you would like, Annie. Once we start doing our pre-recorded videos, maybe we should look into this one. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, there's 8 people here, so I don't know. Maybe one of the girls, I think, wasn't a victim, but can you imagine? Oh my goodness. This poor family, so many of them so young. And even the parents, young parents. I mean, not, look like maybe their 40s, maybe early 50s. I mean, that's way too young. I feel way too young to go. Way too young. In exchange for his plea, prosecutors agreed to take the death penalty off the table, and Wagner will serve 8 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole, plus more than 100 years for other charges in the case, the paper reports. Somebody just knocked on the door, guys. Give me 1 second. Sorry. Sorry, guys. One of those salesman people trying to sell me things to siding for the house or whatever he was saying. I'm like, buddy, I'm trying to focus on having food for the week. Please go away. They do not stop. It's like the fourth time they've been here. Sorry about that, guys. They thought it was cartel at first. It was pretty terrible. Oh my God. One lady went to a trailer, found 2 people dead. Went to the next trailer for help, found everyone dead in there except a 3-year-old. Can you imagine the nightmare she must have? Oh my God. She's going to be seeing those faces the rest of her life. Just bodies crumpled over, blood everywhere. Yeesh. Awful, awful, awful. Wow. What was I going to say? Oh, Annie, can you make a note of this story? If you don't want to end up covering it, I can do it. That's fine. You know, you'll do some, I'll do some, of course, once we start with the pre-recorded videos. I'm just really bad at, I have a million, I'm always writing stories and book ideas and screenplays. So I'll have a bunch of things and I'll have a stack of paper like this in one drawer. And, you know, I lose everything. I never know where anything is. So if you could write it down, that would be really good, whether you or I end up doing it. This would be an awesome case for us to cover. So Special Prosecutor Angela Capella said Wagner admitted to being personally responsible for 5 of the deaths, CBS News reports. He also gave prosecutors a full account of the killings and led them to evidence investigators had not previously discovered, she said. With his help, authorities were able to recover the guns used in the killings and the vehicles the family drove that night. But I've never, sure, I will, thank you, Annie. Am I alone? I've never, ever heard of a story where somebody got both of their parents and a cousin, or I don't know if it's a cousin or brother, whatever it said, to help them with murders. And they all went to different places. A mother went and wiped out part of the family. A dad went to another place. They all, not only did they all agree to it, they all went through with it. They all were successful with it. I don't think I've ever heard of a story like this. I can't even imagine how far back in history you'd have to go to find something like this. Maybe like medieval times, where somebody convinced their mom, dad, and a brother or cousin to help, and they didn't even all go together. They all went to 4 separate homes over custody. Jesus. And if there's anybody who shouldn't be having custody, it's a family willing to do that. I mean, come on. This is insane, guys. I can't even believe it. Just give me 1 second, guys. All right, so let's take a look at what is going on here. Oh boy, I'm like scared to read it. He also gave prosecutors a full account of the killings and led them to evidence investigators had not previously discovered, she said. With his help, authorities were able... Oh, I already did that. I'm so sorry. I'm running around, getting knocks on the door. I'm losing my concentration. All but one of the Roden family members had been shot multiple times. Hannah Roden was found laying in bed next to her days-old infant, who was not killed in the cold-blooded execution. Jeez, at least they spared the infant. Hannah had been shot twice in the head. Although I'm sure they weren't too worried about it if a bullet ricocheted and hit the baby, huh? Unbelievable. Her older daughter, Sophia, who she shared with Wagner, was not home at the time of the killing. Hannah Roden just had a little baby. The baby was 4 days old when the murders took place, so that's who they were fighting for custody over, right? That you could walk in with a mother with a little baby and murder that mama, that's pure, pure evil. Absolutely. Evidence found by investigators suggested that Chris Sr. and Gary had been awake when they were attacked, according to the local paper. As Wagner entered the guilty plea in court Thursday, the surviving members of the victim's family, including Geneva Roden, the family matriarch who lost 2 sons in the slayings, and Chris Sr.'s brother Tony, looked on. His attorney, Gregory Myers, said although Wagner has not yet been formally charged, he understands the terms of the plea agreement and realizes that he will never be released from prison. He knows he's going to die in prison without any judicial release, Myers said, according to CBS News. As horrifying as this is for all, he is as sorry as he could be. I mean, honestly, who cares? You know what I'm beginning, as I get older, to really, really dislike? Is people who just feel so comfortable doing awful things and then just being like, I'm so sorry. Is a certain kind of person, don't get me wrong, I like that better than someone who won't say sorry. But then there's a kind of person who learns to like weaponize the sorry, who feels like they can just do whatever and all they got to do is go like, I'm sorry. I'm so stupid. I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry falls a little short, right? Obviously, but I don't know. I just happened to be thinking about this yesterday. Somebody I know that's always screwing people over in little ways and is always like, I'm so sorry, dude. And he always says, dude, that's his, so sorry, dude. I'm an idiot, and it's like after the 10th one, you're like, this is not even genuine. You've just learned to weaponize the sorry as like just a method to like make it okay again for yourself and just you don't actually mean that sorry. I don't know. Bothers me. Pike County prosecutor Rob Junk, what a name, noted that the guilty plea came on the 5-year anniversary of the deaths. It's been a long 5 years for all of us, most importantly for the surviving family members you see in this court today, he said. All right, guys, I'm going to go a little bit down because we have a good amount of stories to cover. And I hope that this plea is the beginning of giving the community and certainly the Roden family some sense of justice. There is never closure when you lose 8 members of one family in the same day, but you get some sense of justice. Yeah, that's a tough one. Justice doesn't really cut it in that one. Stories like this, well, we need to go back to the olden days. They need to just line up all 5 of them, 4 of them, whatever it was, on the chopping block there, where they slice the heads, or just the hanging block, remove that floorboard, hang them. See ya. You're walking around willing to wipe out entire families. You just got to go. You just do. We cannot have you around when you're capable of doing something like that. By the way, Junie, I just saw in the donation you said good job last night in the one you made. Thank you so much. Sorry, I didn't see that message the first time. All right, guys. So we have quite a few stories for you guys. What are their names? Sorry. Give me 1 second. I'll pull it up. 1 second, guys. Their names are, where is it? Plead guilty. Was the oxygen one, right? Sorry. I'm looking now. It was way down, Annie. Might have to come back and find it. I don't want you guys to wait too long. Yeah, I don't know where I pulled the stories from a few different sites, and they're kind of all over the place. Wow, these stories are all going for the racism angle. It's hard to even pull stories lately because of that verdict that just happened. They're pulling like 50. If there's like 15 stories on a site, I can use like 3 of them. They're all about that, like trying to get people up, some kind of uproar. I try to avoid that. I'll have to pull it up after, Annie. I'm sorry, I can't find where I pulled it from. People also do that with saying, stop bringing up the past. But yeah, exactly, Shannon. No, I know exactly what you mean. It's like, it's not the past because you just keep doing it in the present. I know exactly what you mean. Stop bringing up the past. It's over. It's not over, though, because you're going to do it tomorrow. Iowa woman pleads guilty to federal hate crime charges after running over kids. Not her kids. Nicole Poole Franklin told authorities she struck the 2 adolescents in separate incidents because of their race. I didn't know. This one wasn't in the headline. See what I mean, though? Every single story. It's not that I won't cover these. It's just like I try to avoid having the chat take sides and everyone. It's just kind of one of those things. Every single. Yeah, I'm going to skip this one, guys. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to avoid. It's just one of those things when you got like police doing stuff. Some people side with the police, some side with the people who got hurt, and it becomes like arguments and stuff. I just don't want that to happen. We have a small little tight-knit group here, a really small group. Much less people come to these shows than the nighttime shows, so I just rather keep everybody happy and just talking about the stories. So Amish teen Linda Stoltzfus, who we covered yesterday or the day before, one or the other, but we did talk about her. Her cause of death has been revealed just days after her remains were found. She went missing in Pennsylvania 10 months ago while on her way home from church. I'm sure you remember her, the Amish girl. We don't cover too many of them. They're not, they don't make a common appearance in the true crime community, that's for sure. Stay to themselves. But the cause of death for Linda Stoltzfus, an Amish teenager who previously went missing in Pennsylvania 10 months ago, has been revealed. According to Lancaster County Coroner's Office, Stoltzfus, who was 18, was strangled and stabbed in the neck. Oof. The coroner, Dr. Stephen Diamantoni, determined that her cause of death was asphyxia due to strangulation and suffocation with a knife wound to the neck serving as a contributing factor. Stoltzfus's remains, which were discovered in a rural area of Lancaster County on Wednesday, were positively identified by officials using her dental records. So that's scary, huh? So this person was strangling her and I guess couldn't get the job done, so just use the knife. That's what it sounds like, right? Talk about vicious. So the coroner, Dr. Stephen Diamante, determined that her cause of death was asphyxia, as we said, due to strangling and suffocation with a knife wound to end it. She disappeared on June 21st, 2020, when she was last seen heading home after church to change into something else for a youth group meeting. What a shame. You know, what an innocent young person just going to change her clothes to go back to church. I mean, come on, guys. This is probably why the Amish community tries to stay to themselves, although I wonder if it was someone within the community that did this one, because that would be my guess. Okay. Sorry, guys, a million things going on. So we showed this guy yesterday, Justo Smoker, Justo. 35 years old, was arrested in July on charges of felony kidnapping and misdemeanor false imprisonment in connection with her disappearance. He was charged with murder in December after investigators reviewed all of the evidence gathered and made the determination that Stoltzfus was likely dead. I'm going to go ahead and guess. If you've seen this guy, I can show him later. He's not a member of the Amish community. Maybe he is, but he sure doesn't look like it. He doesn't dress like them, that's for sure. So looks like maybe somebody came in to this guy, Amish, has a very particular look. And when I say that, I mean the clothing and dress and all that. So this guy doesn't look to be, maybe he's Amish, right? I guess you never know. But my guess would be he was looking for an easy target, easy victim. Jumped on into the Amish. How much easier can it get? The remains were wrapped in a tarp and buried in a grave with a dress, bonnet, and shoes consistent with clothing worn by Stoltzfus at the time of her disappearance, according to Adams. Investigators believe Stoltzfus had initially been buried at another location in Bronx, I guess that's a city, where Stoltzfus's bra and stockings were previously recovered, but she was moved behind Smoker's place of employment several days after her death, Adams said. Sorry, guys, one last second. Okay. Alrighty, guys. Alrighty. Give me just one moment. I gotta check one thing out, guys. I'm so sorry. Hey, Watcher. Hey, the chat is here. The chat is here. Watcher's here. Give me one sec, guys. Sorry. I got like 15 things going on. I'm so sorry. Okay. So sorry, guys. Kind of a crazy day today. So rest in peace to this poor girl. Young, innocent Amish girl walking home. This is a shame. The Amish they really capture my imagination. Has anybody ever wondered what it would be like to go and live there for like a month? Because they have to be onto something, right? Like, I'm not saying onto something as in it's better or any worse than what we're doing, but there has to be, as goofy and silly as it looks, there has to be a lot of good to it. Just going back to old-fashioned days. And if that many people are stuck in those ways, there has to be some benefits to it. I don't know. Call me crazy. I am a little crazy, but I feel like it might be something worth doing for a little bit. My sweet Annie. Watcher and Annie, two of my... All right, guys, I'm just going to give Toby one treat. Just for being a good boy. Here you go, buddy. So rest in peace to Linda. So in March, Smoker, who had previously pleaded not guilty to charges of felony kidnapping and misdemeanor false imprisonment stemming from her disappearance, pleaded not guilty to homicide. I don't get how he can get those charges but not the homicide charge. I'm still confused by that. An attorney for Smoker could not immediately be reached by people for comment. He's currently being held at Lancaster County Prison without bail. What kind of a name is Justo? Never heard of that. It's been this way for a couple of days. Yeah, it's been really slow for a couple of days. Watcher, I'm actually gonna, since I'm doing interviews the next few nights, I'm probably gonna take the next couple of days off. And plus it's Saturday. I wasn't even planning on doing Saturday and Sunday. I wasn't even thinking that it's Saturday. That's how stupid I am. Because I've been planning to take 2 days off, but I should be taking Saturday and Sunday off anyway, so I'm definitely not going to come tomorrow. Anyway, we only got a couple more stories and then we're finished. So this is a little extra episode. But yeah, I think people are getting burned out from every single day, I mean. So I'm going to give them a bit of a break. Yeah, the chats have been really quiet. The people who are here, usually have like 10 people or so, but a lot of them are just doing stuff while they're listening. They don't really pay attention to the chat. They're running or in the shower or driving or whatever. Police believe somebody knows something about Leanna Warner, who vanished at age 5 in 2003. Nearly 18 years later, everyone remains hopeful they'll learn what happened to her, including the police. Oh, look at this poor little girl. Look at this. Doesn't this kill you? At about 5 p.m. on a Saturday, The day before Father's Day in 2003, Leanna Warner, her sister Carly, and their mother returned to their suburban Chisholm, Minnesota home a day after a day of shopping and swimming. By the way, guys, if you're just joining us, we do have an interview going on tonight, so make sure to join us at 9 p.m., part 2, with Jessica and Attila. Leanna told her mom, Kaylin, that she wanted to walk around the corner to say goodnight to her best friend. It was a normal thing, Kaylin recalled. But the day turned out to be anything but normal. Kaylin sent older sister Carly to bring her home. She said, Mommy, I can't find her, Kaylin says. When Kaylin went to look herself, she found Leanna's shoes outside the friend's house where no one had been at home for Leanna's visit. So the little girl went there to say goodnight to her friend, but nobody was there, and somebody took her. That was the last time I saw her, Kaylin says, nearly 18 years later, of the moment that turned her and her husband Chris Warner's lives upside down. In 2020 alone, there were some 365,348 reports of missing kids, according to the FBI. Isn't that crazy? Who would have ever thought that? 365,000 reports of missing kids in 1 year? Something weird's going on. Like, I just don't get it. This is what, 400 million people in this country, right? And that's a third of a million. I don't know. Something's odd. That's way too many, no? Am I going crazy? Am I crazy, guys, or is that way too many kids? Like, it should be maybe a couple thousand tops, no? Like, am I going nuts? You know what? Let me see one thing. How many cities are in the United States total? So as of 2018, there are 19,495 incorporated city, towns, and villages in the United States. Wait, what? Hang on a second. That can't be right. So here's what it says. I'm just looking at these numbers. Sorry, guys. I'm getting a little sidetracked here, but I think this is interesting. So as of 2018, there are 19,495 cities, towns, and villages in the U.S. And of that 19,495, 14,768 of these have populations below 5,000. That sounds like way too many cities to be that small, but apparently it's true. But so that makes it even weirder. But here's what I want to look at. 19,495. So let's look at this. So on average, hang on, I got to get to the bottom of this. So 365,348 kids go missing in a year, divided by 19,495 cities, means on average, almost 19 kids go missing from every city in the country a year. Isn't that crazy? More than one a month? Every city in the country, in 1 year? Do you know what I'm saying? Make sure and check your... Really, Watcher? Is it treats? What are you sending? What are you sending, Watcher? Hang on one second. Did you see what I'm saying? I divided how many kids go missing by how many cities are in the country. So 19 kids go missing from every city, every single city in the country a year. Isn't that crazy high? Like so high. Am I alone? Oh, you guys talking about somebody sick? It's a surprise. Really? Well, thank you in advance. Because, you know what? Wait a minute. Did you send it by U.S. mail? because my mail comes by like 10. I haven't checked it yet. Give me 1 second. Well, I hope it did. Oh, Amazon delivers it themselves? Oh, okay. All right. Well, didn't it come at like a night last time when I was on a show with you guys? I think it did. Well, thank you. I'll message you as soon as it comes, that's for sure. Give me 1 second. Okay. Oh, pregnancy's not good. That's a lot of kids, Shammy, right? Isn't that crazy? That many kids every year. Okay, so I got kind of sidetracked in that, guys, but I felt like that number had to be way too high. So I figured doing that math would give us some kind of resolution. But you know what? All it did is confuse me a little more, to be honest with you. All right, guys. So anyways, this poor little girl. What's this? I got a video here, 2 minutes long. Uh-oh. Yeah, can't risk it with the music. So Vernon Manor, chief of Chisholm Police, who'd been with the police department for 8 years when Leanda disappeared, agrees. Somebody knows something, he says. We're still hopeful. Anyone with information about the case should call the Chisholm Police Department at 218-254-7915. Toby's fading fast. Sleepy little Toby. Sorry, buddy. You got to stay. One more story. Last story anyways, guys. We're almost at 45 minutes anyway, so we're making good time. Then Toby can get his rest. He has to rest because of all that sleeping, you know? And then once he sleeps a lot, he needs a rest from his sleep. Then he needs to go to sleep because of his rest. It's a vicious cycle. Even a fraction, I'm sure. Yeah, yeah, we don't. Yeah, I know that because these families I talk to always tell me, I call this news station, I call that news station, I don't hear back. So it's hard, believe it or not. You would think news stations would swarm you when you have a missing loved one, but some of them can't get anybody to care. It's really sad. You know, I mean, I guess I understand it because with that many going missing, they're probably getting people every day calling them saying, my son's missing, my daughter, my husband. So I guess they can't cover all of them, right? It's just sad. An Ohio woman and relatives were killed in 2016 by her ex who was angry over a custody battle. So we already covered that. This is the same story, just on a different website. All right, guys, actually, we're done. This is the story. Oh, actually, we were going to pull it up again, Annie. Here it is. I have it in another, same story with another website. So, Annie, his name is Edward Jake Wagner. Jake in parentheses or whatever you call him there. Edward Wagner with the nickname of Jake. So we can just look up like Edward Jake Wagner, Slaughter family. FOMO. All right, guys. Thank you so much to everybody who donated. We do appreciate you guys. And thank you to Watcher for whatever's coming. You got me kind of half scared, half excited. I don't know why I'm scared. I'm just a weirdo. But thank you to Kristen and Junie for your donations today. No, thank you, Annie. Yeah, we'll talk about that. I have to go do a couple things now. I got to take a shower and do some things. But when I come back, well, I mean, I don't know if you have any interest in it, but if nothing else, if you don't want to cover it, just hold it for me and I'll do it. Or we can do it together or, I'll do it. But that's an interesting story. Got his whole family to commit a murder with him. It's like organized. All right, guys, I love you. Thanks for joining us. We're going to finish up there. We'll give Toby one more treat just for hanging in there with us. Who knows? We might have some more coming today. I don't know what Watcher got us, Toby. How do you know? If I don't know, you sure don't know. They better be treats, says Toby. And just deal with it. We have Watcher. We have 5 left in the 5 left in this bag. So have a great day, everyone. Yeah, don't worry about it, Jamie. No rush. I only repeat it because people are coming in and out often, so I never know who knows what. So I try. I just wish there could be more. Like I found this channel doesn't get like new people. It's always people who are already subscribed. You know what I mean? We rarely get somebody in here like, oh, hey, what's this channel? I just saw it on my feed. They don't seem to advertise it to people who don't know of it already. So that's why we never really have anyone here. I don't know. But all right, guys, I love you. I will see you soon. And thanks for joining us. And make sure to watch the interview tonight, 9 p.m. I'm not going to do another show today. I'm almost positive because today and tomorrow are supposed to be my off day. So back to bed. Me too, Watcher. Me and Toby are going to go pass out. All right, guys, I love you. Take care.